Working with survivor Carol Katz. My name is Lucy Samarodin. I'm the interviewer. Mrs. Katz, during the time that you were in hiding at Paula's house, did Peter, your baby, ever get sick?
Yes, matter of fact, he got sick maybe 2 days after I arrived. And I didn't know what to do. You couldn't take the child to just any doctor because he had a bris. He was circumcised. So it just popped into my mind. I knew of a woman pediatrician, and I asked Paula to go and fetch her. And Christina came in, not at the right moment, and she said, I'm going with her. So she came, Dr. Rohachkova, Vera Rohachkova was her name, and she examined the baby and she gave me the prescription. And then she sat down to talk to me because she examined and she knew as a doctor what circumcision is. She pointed to the breast and she said, why did you do it at a time like this? So I told her this is a commandment that we have to obey. And I felt that first I obey and then I have the right to ask God he should protect him. So she sat down and she said, I want you to know that I'm a daughter of an evangelist minister, and I want you to come to my office with the baby whenever you need it, and even for regular checkups. And if I see you in the waiting room, I'll take you in first so you would not be just by chance discovered. And so I went to her maybe twice. Or I was afraid to go out because I could bump into a Nazi who knew me from the office, from the former jobs. And she was later on of so much help. She actually saved my life and that of my child.
What name did you use on your false papers?
Helena Kuzmova. I gave myself the name. And Peter. Arye was Peter.
How did Dr. Rohaj help you? Describe what she did for you.
As I said, I needed her a few times. The baby was sick or but she was really nice. She said, in any other way, whenever you need me, you can come day or night. And the occasion where I started to use her good offices was that I had at Paula the medical books of my husband and also names, microscope. So I was afraid, suppose they come and they search the apartment and they find all these things, they will punish them or so. So I discussed it with her and she was willing to keep all these things. So now there was a question on how to get it. Was still in the crate. And so we decided to do it in the evening where it's dark, and no lights outside either. So we carry both. It was heavy. We carried it both in our hands. And who comes into our way? The former nanny that my sister Olga had for her child, and she was a German from Sudetenland. So we put it down quietly on the ground, and she started to chat and blah, blah, blah. And we couldn't get rid of her. Paula said to her, "Why don't you just go into my place and have some tea?" And we were on our way, and Paula, when we walked, a few blocks, she said, "Such a Trumpel," it's a German expression, yeah, Schlemazel, like. And soldiers were walking in front of us, and he turned around, he said, "Who is a Trumpel?" I said, "Oh, we were talking about whatever." So finally we came to the place where Dr. Rohachkova lived, and there was always a policeman in front of that house. I don't know why, who lived there, such an important man that they had to guard it. So he asked, "What is in this crate?" So I told him it's a microscope and it belongs to Dr. Rohachkova, and she was not home. So there was a janitor, a janitor lived there in that building. So I went to him with the policeman, and I had to open and show him that it's really a microscope and not a bomb, And he accepted the thing, and we went home, and she got it. So this was number one. But let me get back to the incident where I was at the waiter's house when they came in and they banged on the table and they were drunk, they were singing their song. And all of a sudden, my baby started to cry. And the woman who was with them, she asked the waiter, "Who is there hiding?" Or I could not hear, the whole thing. But I was trembling because I thought, this is my last thing. Here are the soldiers, they can just grab me and go. But meanwhile, his wife came in, and they were about to leave, and this woman went up to his wife, and she said, "What kind of, you hiding here, Jews?" And she slapped her face. She said, "What kind of words are these? What kind of accusation is this?" And it remained with this, and they left, and she came in, and the whole night again, I was up and waiting for the Shubwagen to take me. And early in the morning, very early, I decided I'll go to Dr. Rohachek. And I had already in mind, how will I board a train? How will I go any place? I need identification papers, and I need a new picture for that. So nearby was a building where they had a photo automat. Got in, took a picture. I showed you the picture. Nobody would recognize me after 2 weeks not sleeping. And my hair tucked in into the German hat, what I got from Paula with the green feathers. And who comes into my way? It was a young man, maybe 19, who was a delinquent boy who that Florian took in out of he had compassion with the family, thought he'll give him a little job. But we discovered that he was stealing right there in the office. So he came up to me, gnädige Frau, and I told him, "Go away." I said, "I don't want anything to do with you. I have enough trouble on my own. Please leave me." And I walked away very briskly. And I went to Dr. Rohachkova. And I told her what happened, and I didn't have where to go to. So she said, "Wait a minute," she said, I would advise you